Hello, Merry Chris. Magbatian muna tayo. Para, so, tatatlo lang pa kayo eh. Una si Trixie Villa. Magandang hapon si Sir Trixie. Si Shambil number 14. Salamat sa pagbisita. Ang pato po ay si Chris. Good day. Si Maria Cristina. Good day, tatay, sabi niya. Good day rin, Maria Cristina. Maria Cristina, Grace Trekvilla, 11, ma'am, and hello. Sabi naman ni Trekvilla, hello, Marie Chris. Red One, good day. Sabi niya, Tatay Jackferdz. Hello, Daniel. Ito, Amerikano. Hi, Daniel Sportsberry. Hindi niya maintindihan eh. Okay, isa tayo. Pinamis ko sa inyo kanina para ipapakita ko kung paano ang kahipokritan yung mga anchors ng media. Pag nagtanong, pag face-to-face kay President BBM, kung ano ang tinatanong nila. Pagkatapos, pag talikod ni PBBM, sinisiraan na si PBBM. Makikita nyo kung paano sila magtanong. Face-to-face na sila kay PBBM. Bakit hindi nila itanong yung mga concern na nila talaga. Tulad ni SAS. Kung ang dahilan ng pagkabudol na ay sa EDCA, bakit hindi niya tinanong kay Presidente? She had the opportunity to ask that question. Ang bait-bait niya sa harap ng Presidente. Pagkatapos, pag nakatalikod na, matapos ang press interview, kung ano na ang sinasabi. So, ang purpose ko rito, prinamis ko sa inyo, ipapakita ko sa inyo kung gaano ang pagka-hipokrito ng mga anchors na ito. Kung wala na si PBBM, saka sila bumibira. Okay, umpisa na natin. Ito, mahaba ito. 59 minutes yata. Pero wala pa naman tao. Yan. Parpak na naman. So, hanapin ko muna eh. Ano ba nangyari ito sa Facebook? Sinet up ko na kanina. Hanapin ko na ulit. Oh, nawawala eh. Nahanap ko. Luckily,
which we weren't able to accommodate simply because we're so. Okay. Uh, Before we left kasi for Switzerland, there were many requests for interviews, which we weren't able to accommodate simply because we were so busy preparing for Switzerland. So I thought we'd have one uh,
hi
once we got
Winchell.
back. So here we are. So there's a lot to talk about. So I think you can open the floor.
Dapat open forum na yan eh. You can ask any questions under the sun. Pero only pagkatapos ng interview sa kababanatan si Presidente BBM, mali ito ginagawa ng mga angkor.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, and welcome to our friends in broadcast media to this very special sit down with the President with our broadcast media. So today, the President will be entertaining 2 questions from each of you, and let's get started. We have Ms. Karen Davila of ABS-CBN News.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Karen, and thank you so much for doing this. So I'll be asking you 2 questions, but you have to forgive me that the first question will have a lot of context in it for agriculture. Losses are driving farmers to desperation. Some farmers already taking their own lives. In Davos, you said you would only step down as Agri Secretary if you've ticked off items in your bucket list. My question is, what is in that list? And what will you specifically do to implement for farmers to feel a change in their lives today, in the short and medium term?
As a matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that up because it's we always
Kuya, kita mo yung question niya, meron na daw nagpapakamatay na farmers dahil sa hirap ng buhay. Pati,
have been talking about
kasalanan ba ni
production,
BBM?
non-importation, etc. And we have to always remind ourselves that what we are really talking about is the livelihood of the farmers as well. Not only the supply of food, but of the pricing of food, but also the livelihood of farmers and the future of farmers. I mean, I think it's a much quoted statistic that in the Philippines, the average farmer is 57, 58 years old, and the young people are not that interested to enter into farming. So there are all of these multifaceted problems that we face in terms of agriculture. So again, in the short term, the increasing prices of food products is alarming, and that's why we now have to, whatever we do, we must import. I think my sentiments about importation are clear, but it is an emergency situation that has been brought about by neglect of the agricultural sector for many, many years. And therefore, our production is well below our demand. Therefore, we must import. So, because of the chaos that we saw with the question when it came to sugar, when it came to the onions, we did not know how much of the commodity was actually in the country. We're starting to get a handle on it now, and so we are going to put in terms of sugar. I mentioned specifically before that we will from now on maintain a 2-month buffer stock. That is to mitigate the speculation. Alam mo, normal yan sa negosyante. Pag alam nila magkaka-shortage, they will keep it hanggang tumaas yung presyo.
Diba yan
Maybe you can
sinasabi
call
ko?
that hoarding, but it's a business practice. And that's what we hope to avoid. In terms of onions naman, ganun pa rin ang sitwasyon. We are not producing as much as we consume, and therefore we still have to import. But the schedule of importation, both of sugar and onion, all of the other commodities, the schedule is very, very important. It's not just a question of one lump importation at the beginning of the year. It has to come in at the proper time. So you're not competing with local farmers. So that's a very simple first step. Pag maayos na yan, that is one box that I will say I've been able to tick. Now but we come back to the problem of production. So that again, we still have to put into place. Once I know that the value chain has already been put together, never mind that it is functioning yet, but we already know what needs to be done in each part of that value chain, and we have the means and we have a plan. Then we will have a secretary who will then take my place and will implement that plan. Basta alam natin yung nakakaintindi doon sa ating ginagawa.
So, pag mayroon ng magaling na tao na papalit sa kanya, handa siyang bumaba sa pwesto. Pero ang unang tanong, mayroon na daw nagpapakamatay na magsasaka. Anong klaseng question yun?
Nagawa. So those are the essential elements that I'm talking about. There's some reorganization that needs to be done in the Department of Agriculture for the simple reason that we are doing different things from what we were doing before. And so you have to restructure the bureaucracy in like fashion.
I wanted to ask, you said you have a bucket list that needs to be ticked off. Would you share some? I mean,
Well, that's it.
That's it.
That's basically it. I mean,
Yeah.
within that subject matter, hindi lang yan. I mean, if you go into detail, there are still very many things that we need to do. In terms of production, we have to help the farmers. We have to enter. We are trying to adopt new techniques for farming that we will be able to use new technology, new varieties, start with the R&D, all that of and especially in this area of agriculture, the overarching issue is climate change. We're having a very tough time scheduling these things because the weather keeps changing. And that one of the reason I've also made contact with several other countries and my counterparts in several countries is that we are trying to develop what we refer to as non-traditional suppliers. And because of the price of fertilizer, the lack of export of wheat, rice, of course, is another thing that we import. Corn, we were going to have to import. But with the shocks that have hit the global economy and with the supply chain problems that we see everywhere, then that is something that we have to work around. And the way to do it is to have many sources of supply so that whatever happens, we have somewhere to go. Hopefully down the road, in a few years, we no longer have to worry about non-traditional supply because we will be able to produce enough for ourselves.
Mr. President, about the Maharlika Wealth Fund, Congressman Joey Salceda talked about a re-engineered fund. And I wanted to ask you, he said he described it as the securitization of 44 billion pesos, and it will be listed in the stock market. You have lawmakers, opposition lawmakers, who say that under the law, 50% of the income of GOCCs have to be remitted to the National Treasury, and you use it for the budget. So along with that, how could you ensure that the fund won't be used for money laundering, given you will be accepting private funding?
Let's do two in one there.
Yes.
We'll do the first one first. First of all, the idea of using the GOCCs to put value into the Maharlika Fund was broached in Davos. And it was brought up. I don't know why it's made this news here immediately to the Philippines, and people are very concerned about it. I watched your interview with Congressman Edsel Legman this morning, and I have heard the comments that Congressman Joey Salceda has made, and his concerns that he had aired. I agree with that. You cannot use funds of the GOCC. Pera ng gobyerno, what will the government spend? It is a proposal. It's not something that we have adopted. The GOCCs, There are several problems because I remember we had a little meeting, lasted about 15 minutes, and that was proposed. But after the meeting, I pulled Secretary Ben Jokno aside, and we said, "Hindi, what do you think?" Sabi niya, "Hindi yata pwede." And I said, "It's too disruptive." Think, every single GOCC has its own charter. How will you will then revise all of those charters to align with the Maharlika Fund? That's not the purpose of the GOCC. Number one. Number two, this is a lot of income that goes to the national government that will suddenly disappear. So that will be it will not disappear. It will go into the Maharlika Fund and cannot be used for the budget of the national government. And we have many things that we would like to appropriate in the coming years, and we will need those funds. So I don't think that's a viable proposition, at least not for us. I've seen, I know that there are other sovereign wealth funds that did it that way, but it's parang hindi bagay sa atin yun. Kaya we are a little lukewarm about that idea. The worry about the fund being used as a money laundering device implies that private monies will be put into the fund. But yes, private monies will be involved with the fund, but it's not a savings account that you just put it there and it stays there. No, what will happen is the Maharlika Fund will serve as the seed fund for the sovereign wealth fund, and the 40 billion, 30 billion, 40 billion, whatever it may come to at that point, is going to serve as a seed money for the fund. Now, whenever we come into partnership, we do a G2G with Japan, for example, or we do a PPP with some big outfit, then it is only the time that the monies come into the fund to be used for the program. Hindi yun basta o sige, bigyan niyo ako ng ilang bilyon dolyar, tapos lalagay lang yun, akong bahala na dyan. It's not like that at all. And in fact, even on our end, we will only deploy funds when there is a very specific project to be paid for. So money laundering just won't come into it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. Magbasambot na tayo ng mga comments, batihan, kundi matatambakan po tayo. So, si Redwan, good morning, good day, Tatay. Binati po rin ni Redwan si Ma'am Trexie. Binati ko si Daniel, si Ryan. Good evening po, Tatay Jackferdz and classmates. Good evening din. Si Maria Cristina, si Redwan, binati niya, hello. Si Redwan, binati po ang mga classmate, Ma'am Ryan. Si Marie Chris Ryan, binati po niya, mega love shout out. Mega love, Marie Chris, good day, sabi ni Redwan. Wintel Pisces, good morning po, Tatay. Pakisuportahan niyo si Wintel Pisces. Nagsuportahan si Wintel, sinuportahan mo na ba si Ryan? Si Kaklea? Ryan Blackwell, binati si Trexie, Maria Cristina, Redwan. Hello everyone. Si Winsel, si Marie Chris, binati si Winsel. Si Trexie Villa, binati po ang mga classmate, lalong-lalo na sina Ryan, Redwan, saka si Winsel. Si Ryan, binati po si Winsel. Si Marie Chris, binati yung banyaga na kaibigan natin, si Daniel. Hello, mega love shout, Daniel. Redwan, binati po si Winsel. Si Winsel, binati po si Redwan, Ryan Blackwell, Trexie Villa, 11. Si Marie Cristina, binati po again si Texibilla, si Winsel, binati si Marie Cristina. Hello, Nilda Arcio. I'm glad you're here. Si Nilda, nag-wave po. Si Redwan, binati po kagad si Nilda. Si Sibilla, binati po si Nilda Arcio. Si Nilda Arcio, binati po si Ma'am Texibilla, Ryan Blackwell, Marie Chris, Redwan, and Winsel Paisas. Si Ryan Blackwell, hello. Nag-wave kay Nilda, mega love siya po. Good evening, tatay. Ang klase, sabi ng presidente natin, si Carclea Fontelo. Ryan Blackwell, Carclea, Madam President, mega love shout out, sabi niya. Carclea Fontelo, mega love shout out. Redwan, Daniel, Sisi, Ryan, Marie Chris, Winsel, Sis, Trixie, Sis, Nilda, Marie Chris, Maria Cristina, pinabata po si President Carclea, si Nilda Arcio. Si Nilda Arcio binati po si President Carclea. Si Winsel binabati po si Nilda, si President Carclea again. Si Redwan, hello Madam President Carclea. Si Ryan Blackwell, wala akong naririnig na balitaan na meron nagsasaka na nagpapatay. Gawa-gawa lang ni Karen na double yung mga news na yan. Pero siguro nagpapatay, hindi pero dahil sa pagsasaka. Nataunan siguro na magsasaka. Ginawa na ng dahilan na nagpamatay dahil sa pagsasaka. Tama ka dyan. Ryan Blackwell, yung dinadagdagan nila yung balita. Misinformation na yun. Good day, sabi ng ating moderator, si Opatch 1975. Good morning po sa lahat. Coming from Susan 2. Mayroon ka bang ninja? Susan, yung pinuntan ko ng isang kwan eh. Ikaw ang lumitaw. Iba ang pangalan nung kwan, nag-comment. Pero ikaw ang lumitaw. So, Ryan Blackwell, binati po si Upatch at saka si Susana. Si Maria Cristina, binati po si Upatch, mega love shout out. Susana 2, kinati si President Carclea Fontelo, si Texibilla, binati po si mega love shout out si Upatch, hello, blessed day. And then si Texibilla, binati si Susana. Sabi ni President, Winsel, full connect na ka with Bakas from Tatay Jackferdz vlog. So, ganyan gawin nyo. Ilagay nyo yung Tatay Jackferdz vlog. Carclea Fontelo, thank you very much. Nag-thank you. Dumikit ka ba kay Carclea? Yung tanong ko sa'yo. For the first time, karinderya ni Mang Ruth. Good morning, classmates. So, pakiuso ko, strongly mag-subscribe kayo kay Mang Ruth. Kasi, charitable po ang work yan. Karinderya Mang Ruth, shout out po, Redwan, Ma'am Texibilla, Carclea Fontelo, Ryan Blackwell, and Winsel Paisas. So, natapos na ang batian. We proceed sa ating, as usual, yung video ni President
Ms. Karen Davila of ABS-CBN. Next, we have Ms. Cheryl Cosm of TV5.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Cheryl Cosim representing TV5. And sama ko na rin po yung 1PH and 1 News. So ibig sabihin ba nun 6 questions pwede? I'm just... Galing negotiator. Okay, my first question concerns the positions in your administration. First, just a little over a month ago, you granted former PMS Chief Naida Angping's leave after she asked for personal time for herself and her family. What made you appoint her as ambassador to France, considering she never held any diplomatic post before this? And who will replace her?
Well, I need to use this. Very good.
Sir,
Okay.
since, okay.
Well, the situation with then Secretary Naida Angpin was that it was a personal decision on her part. She had some personal issues that she had to work through, and she said, "I cannot do."
Kasi yung asawa daw ni Secretary Ampin nanghipo sa abroad. Kaya, kaya napilitan mag on leave si Secretary Ampin, ultimately nag-resign.
Do my work while I'm having to go through this, and that's why I need to go and think about it. And she came back and she said, maybe I can just find something that will not that I will be able to handle. And I said, what do you think? And she said, if you could appoint me to a diplomatic position. She has not held formally a diplomatic position, but she has been working with the Foreign Service for years and years and years. Tao yan ng Uncle Kokoy ko. And she worked in the American Embassy, the Philippine Embassy in the United States. She worked in China. She worked in all of the areas that we were slowly opening up. So sanay siya sa trabaho yan. And she has said that she had for years now been working on her Foreign Service exam. So I think that's what she's going to plan to do now. Yun talagang gusto niyang gawin since before. So now we'll formalize her wishes. So, but again, the reasons for it are personal. So I don't think it's my place to talk about that. Yeah, it is her choice.
Okay. Like what I've said, possessions in your administration. Isa pa lang, sir. Pero ito na, kasi pahabol doon sa first. Okay. About Erwin Tulfo, it was reported that you're gonna appoint him as one of your presidential advisors. If so, on what?
No, that's really not been part of the plan for Erwin. No, we had other plans for him. Not as a presidential advisor.
But he would still be part of your administration.
I hope so. I hope so. Because whatever we say, difficulties that he faced with the Committee on Appointments and the CA, the time that he was running the DSWD, he did a very good job. So we can't lose that kind of asset. So we'll find something that he can do, so we can take advantage of his good instincts when it comes to social service.
Mr. President, still another possession in your administration. May mga comments po ang mga senador na mag-appoint na po kayo ng secretary po sa DA and other groups para daw po mas matutukan ang ahensya. Your comment on that?
For me, there really are things that I can do that if there was a secretary and he or she did it, hindi magagawa pero matagal, madaming diskusyon, and you'll have to come up with. Well, the president, they cannot say no to. And pag hindi nila ginawa yung utos ko, pwede ko sitahin. Yung secretary, pwede, alam mo na, it can still be.
Magaling talagang sumagot si Presidente.
May pakiusap pa. So that's what I bring to the position. Is that when I make a decision, I say, this is what we need to do, this is the plan, every one of you follow this plan. You do this, you do that, magtatasking tayo. Kailangan masunod yun. And if not, then I can chastise them, I can move them aside, push them into other positions, etc., etc., etc. But generally speaking, if the president asks you to do something, they'll do it. If somebody else will do it, they may do it. They probably do it, but they may not. So we want to take that wiggle room out of that system.
And this is my second question, Mr. President.
Second question.
Just a few weeks after your visit to China, Chinese Coast Guard drove away Filipino fishing boats in Ayungin Shoal. What message does this give you? And what happened to President Xi Jinping's promise for a compromise?
Well, we haven't come to that compromise yet. And if the timing of what we refer to as shadowing is what they do is they shadow our fishing boats. And so that incident happened right after I had returned from China. So we have immediately used with that thing, that mechanism that I talked about. Sinabi we can even immediately contact the Chinese government, and hopefully, though our counterparts on the other side can bring to President Xi's attention this problem, and we have done that. But that does not preclude us from continuing to make protests and continuing to send note verbals concerning this. But this is a long process because it is something new. I just hope we can come to some kind of arrangement because I cannot see the utility for the Chinese of doing that. These fishing boats are not armed. They don't pose a threat to anyone. So I think that is something that we can achieve in the near term.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Cheryl Cosm of TV5. Next, we have Nelson Lubao of Net25.
Magandang hapon po,
Good afternoon.
Mr. President. Nice to meet you in person po. Ang aking pong katanungan ay marahil ay katanungan din ng mga simpleng mamamayan tungkol sa inyong foreign travels. Ang una po ay yung binanggit nyo na
Ito na
ang
naman, for
Pilipinas
examples.
ay naging bahagi na ng tinatawag na BIP Club, Best Performing Economies in Asia. Paano po natin ire-reconcile yan dun sa iniisip naman ng karaniwang tao na pagpunta niya sa palengke, mahalang sibuyas, mahalang iba't iba pang presyo ng bilihin, tapos tayo ay best performing economies, Mr. President.
Dahil yung inflation ang pinag-uusapan. Isang aspeto lang yan sa ekonomiya. Kaya yun talaga problema, totoong problema yan. Dahil bumababa na ng konti dahil nagpapasok na tayo ng sibuyas, nagpapasok na tayo ng asukal. So kahit paano, the supply will feed the demand at magbababa ang presyo. Kaya yun ang para sa akin ay the reason na tinitignan ang Pilipinas na magandang performance dahil sa ibang bagay.
Okay.
Kasi maghanap ka ng bansa na 7.1% ang growth rate, na bumaba ng 4.2% ang unemployment rate, na mas mababa ngayon kaysa sa bago ng pandemya. Ibig sabihin, nakapag-create tayo ng halos 2 million jobs mula noong 2020 hanggang ngayon. At yung pati yung peso, medyo tumibay na. Kaya palagay ko, yun hindi lang ang inflation. Kasi lahat naman ng ibang bansa, ganyan din ang inflation. Kaya kung titignan ninyo, ay sasabihin, ito yung mga ibang bagay na
Karamihan kasi.
Kaya nabuo, gumawa. Kasi wala namang VIP noon . Nangyari lang yan dahil nagpe-present tayo doon sa Davos at marami tayong pinakita, marami tayong paliwanag, marami tayong diskusyon sa kanila. Sabi na kasama na kayo doon sa grupong yun, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Philippines. So sa Asia, yun ang tatlo na uunahin nilang tignan as investment destinations.
Pero ito pong performance natin sa ekonomiya ay siguro in the following months or days, mararamdaman din ng karaniwang mamamayan.
Siyempre, hindi naman kasi basta magpasok ako ng ilang tonelada ng sibuyas, bukas bababa na yung presyo. It has to go, dadaan pa sa sistema yan. It takes a little while. Pero hindi naman ganun katagal. This year talaga, yan ang problema kung hindi nagpapatulog sa akin .
Diyan nakakatulog daw.
That's what I lose sleep every night over, is how to bring down inflation. So I'm determined to make sure that the inflation starts to come down in the first quarter and mag-normalize na pagkatapos nun.
Okay.
Yeah. tingnan nyo, hindi siya nakakatulog dahil sa inflation. Ang dream niya is pababain yung inflation. Matagal na, several months pa itong interview, na-achieve niya yung kanyang pakay na pababain ang inflation rate. Sa latest statistics, bumababa every month ang inflation rate. Ang karaniwang mamamayan hindi lang naiintindihan ang inflation. Ang inflation, di ibig sabihin na bumababa ang presyo ng bilihin. Ang inflation, bumababa ang rate ng pagtaas ng presyo ng bilihin. In-explain ko na yan sa inyo noon. Kaya, importante yung mga tinatalakay ko dito para maintindihan ng karamihan ang concept of inflation sa iba pang bagay. Ulitin ko, ang decrease in inflation rate ay nabawasan ang mabilis sa pagtaas ng presyo ng commodities. So yan ang hindi napapatulog sa ating presidente. Pero he achieved yung goal niyang bumababa ang inflation rate sa bansa.
Second question ko po, foreign travels din. Ang kuna naman ng iba, bakit ba ang Pangulo ay travel ng travel? Ang dami namang problema sa bansa. Ano ba ang, sa tingin po ninyo, mahal na Pangulo, yung travel ninyo na talagang merong immediate effect sa mga Pilipino?
Ay, hindi, proseso yan.
Matagal.
Proseso yan. Hindi yan yung pupunta ka tapos kakausapin mo yung korporasyon nagustuhan ka. Ito malaking pera, sige sa'yo na. Hindi ganoon. Magpapakilala muna tayo dahil pagka hindi tayo bumiyahe at nagpakita diyan sa mga conference na yan, hindi tayo iniisip. Wala sa isip nila ang Pilipinas. Siniisip lang nila, dito tayo sa Vietnam, doon tayo sa Indonesia, o doon tayo sa China, doon tayo kung saan-saan. Hindi Pilipinas ang iniisip. Kailangan natin ipakita ang ating ginagawa.
Maganda ang explanation ni PBBM. Hindi nga sila maiisip ng korporasyon o ng mga businessmen. Kasi hindi nagpapakilala ang presidente sa mga businessmen. Hindi niya ini-explain why the Philippines is a good place to invest in. Mabuti ay nagpapakilala siya. Kaya ito ang hindi naiintindihan ng kabilang kampo. Walang papasok na investment kung hindi magtratravel yung presidente sa abroad para makilala niya yung mga businessmen, yung mga powerful businessmen who are willing to invest in factories to be located in the Philippines. Simple lang sagot ni Presidente, maganda.
Para naman mapaganda ang potential na investment nila na dadating na dito sa Pilipinas. Yun ang yun ang halaga ng mga biyaheng yan. At hindi lang yun. At meron din dahil sa halimbawa sa Davos ay ang subject matter laging pinag-uusapan ay how do we cooperate in a fragmented world dahil nagkaka-fragmentation na raw ang buong mundo dahil sa mga pangyayari sa pandemya, sa Ukraine, lahat 'ito. Paano ngayon natin ibabalik ang kooperasyon? Dahil naman sang-ayon naman lahat sa pag-iisip na ang kooperasyon na sa bawat bansa ay mahalaga at hindi kakayanin ng kahit sinong gaano kayaman na bansa na nag-iisa.
Tama ka dyan,
President. Kailangan may kaalyado yan. Kaya yun naman ay pagpunta natin sa mga ganyang conference, ay masasabi natin, the Philippines can play this part in fostering or in encouraging that cooperation. may lugar tayo. We are participating in the event, in the issues and the discussion and in our efforts in the community of nations. Kasi kailangan din, kailangan kasama tayo dyan. Pangatlo, I'm the new kid on the block.
Oh,
Nobody knows who I am. Kailangan ko magpakilala. Sino, kasi pag sabi, bago ito. Sino ba to? May alam ba ito? Tama ba yung mga ginagawa? O ano bang klaseng tao yan? Yun ang mga, that's important also.
lalo pa, he's the new kid on the block. Lalo pa, masama ang reputasyon ng mga Marcos sa abroad. Dahil sa black propaganda na madilawa. Kaya dapat niya magpakilala at pakita niya ang gilas niya sa ibang bansa, sa ibang mga tao. Sabi nga ni karinderya ni Mang Urot, ang problema sa ibang negosyante, kahit alam nila na bumababa na ang benta nila, ayaw pa nilang ibaba ang presyo. Oo nga eh. Tama ka dyan. Karinderya ni Mang Urot. Dalas-dalasan mo pupunta rito as karinderya ni Mang Urot para ma-promote po yung charity work. Sabi naman ng presidente natin, grabe naman itong mga tanong. Instant gratification ang gusto nila. Tama. Cutie Connie, si Susana to, supportahan niyo po si Susana. Please, please. Babalikan kayo niyan ni Susana. Si Cutie Connie, nag-subscribe na ka na ba sa mga katulad kay Clea, President Clea, kay Ryan Blackwell, kay Susana, kay Trek Sevilla. If not, at least mag-subscribe ka please. Yung pag-iusap ko sa'yo. Take your time to subscribe to these sites. Better basta nakita mo yung pangalan, i-type mo and then go to their channel. Kung wala silang subscription, still subscribe. Kasi punta ako sa channel mo, wala ka namang content. Pero nag-subscribe ko sa'yo. Ito mo na may nagkaroon ka ng subscription. Cutie Connie, sabi ni President Clea. Hello, si Red One. Binati rin si Clea. It's okay. PBBM, you're the most you're the most foggy new kid on the block. Okay. And then, shout out Ma'am Cutie Connie Vlog. So, kita mo Cutie Connie? Do me a favor, please. I want to see that you have already subscribed too. Sabi niya, if I forget to subscribe, remind me. Let me know. I will visit your house in a jiffy. Sabi niya, ni Ryan Blackwell. Okay. Pagpatuloy na natin. Para hindi tayo matambakan.
Na magkaroon ng personal, halimbawa personal sa mga leader na kaya ko ngayon, hindi ko kaya gawin yun dati. Ngayon kaya kong buhatin ng telepono, tumawag dyan sa lahat, tatanggapin naman ang tawag ko. At meron na kami mapapag-usapan. And that's very, very important. Kasi yun na nga, like in President Xi's case, siguro, never pa tayo nagkaroon ng contact at that level. Ngayon, dito nga sa mga ASEAN, sa mga APEC, nakilala ko na silang lahat. Kahit papano, meron ka ng koneksyon doon sa mga taong yan. So that's important. That's very important, lalo na. Ito nga, yung kagaya na sinasabi sa Davos, in this fragmented world.
Salamat po.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nelson Lubao of Net25. On this side of the room, sir, we have June Soriao of UNTV.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
Nice to meet you po. In relation po doon sa tanong ni Kuya Nelson, sinabi niyo po noong Sabado sa Davos niya po na the Philippines is leading the economic recovery. and performance not only in the Asia Pacific but in the whole world. Umani po ito ng maraming reaksyon o iba't ibang reaksyon. Di ba? Saan po nakuha po yung datos para patunayan po yung pahayag na yan?
Yung nabanggit ko, napakasimple. Pagka binabati tayo, anong lagi may sinasabi sa akin pagka may nakakausap ako? Pag yung IMF, kasi kinocongratulate tayo, congratulations on your 7.1 growth rate. Si Widodo, ganun din, congratulations on your 7.1 growth rate. It's the growth rate. Kasi yun talagang, lahat ng bansa nangutang ng husto dito nung pandemya. Tapos nung dumating ng Ukraine, palaki ng utang. Kasama ang Pilipinas doon. Hindi kasing lala ang sitwasyon natin sa mga ibang bansa na karatig bansa natin. Ngunit mataas pa rin ang debt to GDP ratio kung tawagin. Kaya ang hihila lang, ang tutulong talaga sa atin na pagandahin ang debt to GDP ratio is growth. Yun lang talaga. Kaya yun ang tinitignan ng lahat. Dahil nung nagpa-pandemya noong 2020 hanggang 2022, kaduluduluhan ng 2022, ay talaga ang nangyari, namatay ang economic activity. Kaya yung mabilis magpabuhay ulit ng economic activity, makakalamang. Tayo, mabilis ang growth rate natin. Kaya nakikita, sinasabi na ito talaga, kaya nga nagkaroon nga ng VIP, nasama tayo doon. Kung hindi ako napunta sa Davos, BI lang yan. Ngayon, VIP na.
Second question, in relation pa rin po dun sa tanong ni Kuya Nelson, kakambal na po ng pangangako ng investment ng iba't ibang sa pagpunta ng mga dati ng presidente, nakarang presidente ng bansa, yung pangako nga po ng investment. Ano po? Yung iba po, pangako lang. Yung iba talagang hindi talaga natupad po. Katulad na lamang po ng investment na ipinako ng China noong nakarang administrasyon. Sa inyo po, paano niyo po masasabi na matagumpay yung mga ipinangako sa inyo ng iba't ibang mga leader ng bansa pagpatungkol po sa investment?
Nasa sa atin yun. Nasa sa atin yun. Kaya yung mga biyahe, nabanggit mo na rin, yung mga biyahe, medyo babawasan na namin for the rest of the year. Ang dahilan ay kailangan namin balikan lahat itong mga nasimulan sa ASEAN, sa APEC, sa China, pati yung pagpunta sa EU, sa Brussels, tapos itong biyahe dito sa Davos.
Yeah. Ang kaibahan ng past administration, hindi nila follow up yung pledges. Pero ibahan natin si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Kasi follow up po yung pledges. Kinukulit po yung nag-pledge. At the same time, pinapakita niya na siya ay gumagawa ng reforma sa taxation. Nagpapagawa ng infrastructures para maganda ang madadatan ng mga foreign investors dito sa Pilipinas kasi may mga bagong structures. Nagbibigay siya ng incentive. Pinapakita niya, yan ang hindi ginawa kung ginawa man, hindi tinutukan masyado. Pero siya ay parating tumututok. Inatasan niya ang economic plans niya na tutukan ang mga nagbigay ng pledges. Kaya nga, ang estimated po na makukuhang realized pledge ay about 70 billion. That is equivalent to 3.5 trillion po na peso. If multiplied by 50 pesos per dollar. Ulitin ko, iba po ang ating presidente. Fina-follow up niya ang mga pledges na binigay sa kanya. Siyempre, mapapaya yung mga nagbigay ng pledges. Pag-demand sila ng concession, baka i-grant ng presidente. As long as it's not inimical to the interests of our country, it's going to be beneficial. I think the president will be flexible enough to grant whatever the requests that these businessmen are demanding of the president.
Ay kailangan namin i-detalye yung aming pinag-usapan. Sino ba
Yan.
dito tungkol dito?
Ididetalye pa nga niya eh. Iba ninyo
bang kinausap natin? Ano bang naging
si
usapan
President
natin?
Bongbong.
O, dito sa lahat ng project na sinasabi, ano ba i-prioritize natin diyan? Kailangan na
Tama.
namin gawin yun. Hindi pa namin nagagawa dahil busy kami, biyahe kami nga ng biyahe. Pero at least meron kaming naiuwi. Ngayon, kailangan na natin i-consolidate, kailangan na natin i-follow up.
Ayun, yung sinasabi ko. I-follow up. Coming from his own words. I-follow up niya yung mga pledges. Kaya, may mga hindi mag-materialize, pero karamihan na nag-pledge ay, siyempre, mahihiya na hindi ito pa rin ang kanilang pledge. Kasi pinapollow up ng isang importanteng tao sa mundo, si Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Ibahin niyo po. Kaya I decided to show you this video para makita from his own words his plan of action. Kaya hindi po tayo nag-iimbento rito ng aking sasabihin. Sabihin ko lang na ganito. Wala naman ka narinig galing kay Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Kaya dito sa tanong natin ito, malalaman nyo na all factual po ang reporting at saka pagbibigay ng opinion dito. Hindi haka-haka lang.
Natin, yung pinag-usapan natin, ituloy na natin ang usapan. Nasa sa atin talaga yon. Kung pababayaan natin yan, marami na tayong nakita. Nagpumirma ng katakot-takot ng MOU, wala naman nangyari.
Yan.
Kaya yung MOU para sa akin,
yan. Kasi alam niya ang nangyari in the past administration. Daming nagpirmahan. Yung kay President Rodrigo Duterte, hindi ko believe yan si PRRD, pero umatras yung mga Chinese. Ewan ko kung bakit. Dahil ba hindi na si PRRD ang presidente? Pero kaya nga, pina-follow up ng ating magaling na presidente ang mga pledges.
maganda yan, okay yan. Pero simula pa lang yan. Hindi pa yan project. Simula pa lang yan. Simula pa ng usapan para magkaroon ng project. Kaya marami pang gagawin. Kaya yung sinasabi ko kanina, proseso ito. Hindi ito yung basta't biglang mangyayari na yun na nga, may isang biyahe, uuwi ka, dami mong dalawang.
Magaling talaga si Presidente Puntero. Yan yung sinasabing instant gratification. No. Miracle worker po ba si President Marcos? Hindi. Pero he is a realist. Kaya nga, let us not expect immediate results from all those pledges which he was able to get. Tama na naman si President Puntelo. Yan.
Dami mong dalang investment. Hindi ganun. Kailangan dahan-dahan tignan, pag-uusapan. And it's also, to put, etong mga biyaheng ganito ay, kung pagmamasdan ninyo yung mga meeting namin, yung tawag namin round table meeting sa mga negosyante, magkikwento kami, sasabihin ng Pilipinas, ganitong ginagawa namin, binago namin yun, meron kaming create law, maganda na mag-PPP, etc. etc. Okay. Lahat yan ay pinag-uusapan. Pero ang ending lagi, sa palagay ninyo, ano pang kailangan namin gawin para mag-invest kayo dun sa amin?
Tinatanong niya yung mga investors kung ano ang kailangan nilang makita sa Pilipinas para mag-invest sila. Hindi po one-way traffic ang approach niya. It's a two-way traffic. Tulad din dito sa subscription na ginagawa natin. Hindi po dapat na one-way traffic na kayo lang mag-subscribe. Dapat yung sinusubscribe nyo ay na bumabalik din na nagsusubscribe din sa inyo. It's a two-way traffic. Give and take po.
So it's interactive.
Interactive is
Hindi lang kami
another word you use.
nagsasalita doon, nagle-lecture doon. Nakikinig din kami sa kanila.
O yan,
Doon sa inyo,
nakikinig din
nangyayari?
daw sa kanila.
may potential
Nakikinig. So nag-lecture daw siya at the same time, katulad ko rito, nakikinig ako, may natututunan ako sa inyo. Hindi ako basta nagbibigay parati ng aking opinion. May natututunan ako pagka kayo ay nagbibigay ng opinion. Ilang beses na bang nangyari yan? Kasi kung di ka makikinig, dada ka lang dada, ay wala ka rin matututunan. Kaya maganda yung interchange o exchange ng mga opinion.
ba dyan o walang mangyayari dyan? Huwag kayong titingin dyan, dito, meron ano. Ganun ang interaction doon. Para mabigyan din tayo ng bagong kaalaman tungkol sa takbo ng ekonomiya. Halimbawa, kausap mo, yung katabi ko sa Davos, was the Moynihan, the head of the Bank of America. Tinatanong ko, anong outlook ng Bank of America sa mundo? Ano yung tingin ninyo? Anong areas ang magiging masigla? Ano yung medyo may iwanan? So marami kang natutunan. Anong plano ng Bank of America? Saan kayo mag-i-invest? That's the only way. Kung hindi, at nangyari yun, nakausap ko ang head ng WTO, ng head ng IMF, ng head ng World Bank. Tungkol nga dyan, ina-analyze ko. Ano ba talagang nangyayari dyan? Ano sa palagay ninyo ang mangyayari? Saan tayo pwedeng umasa? Saan yung medyo mahina ang pagbago? So it's a whole process, but they learn about us, but we certainly also learn about them. So that's also very important.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, June Soriao of UNTV. Next, we have Mela Lesmoras of PTV4.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon.
President. I'm Mela from PTV4. Sir, follow-up lang po dun sa nabanggit nyo na yun nga, magbabawas na kayo rin ng biyahe this year. Pero saan-saan po kayo yung mga
Microphone
kumpirmado
ba
nyo
ito?
nang pupuntahan at gaano ito kahalaga para sa
I'm
ating
going to
bansa?
utilize this
Yung
one
mga
of
biyahe
these
po.
days.
The only one na confirmed siya ngayon, APEC, November, sa States. Pero November pa yun. Hindi kasi ang Philippine dapat naman talaga ang Philippine president.
Yung travel niya sa November po, kasali sa balita ngayon, yun yung magmi-meeting siya ng mga important personalities in the world sa APEC in November. News na ngayon yan. Confirm na po na pupunta siya sa States to attend the APEC meeting.
Kailangan pumunta sa lahat ng APEC. Importante talaga at maraming talagang napapag-usapan. Kahit yung kung minsan 5 minutes lang mag-uusap kayo. Pero mula doon, meron na, bigay na kayo ng number, pwede mo nang tawagan, pwede mo na i-follow up. At kung minsan, ang nangyayari dyan, kaya kumpleto ang delegasyon namin. Dahil pinasabi ko, kung ano pang mangyari, kailan handa tayo, nandyan yung sekretary na dapat magtrabaho. Nandyan yung staff niya para gawin na yung papeles, hindi na mag-aantay na pag-uwi ng Pilipinas. Nandyan na lahat, kailangan kumpleto. Kasi itong mga biyaheng ito, 2 araw yan eh. 2 araw, mahaba na yung 3 araw. Ang dami mong gagawin doon sa 3 araw na yun. Kaya kailangan kumpleto na kumpleto ka. And that's why that we have tried to be very ready for that. The APEC, again, is one of those that I really have to, a Philippine president should really attend. Because it is the relationship, essentially, between ASEAN, the Philippines, and the rest of the world. And those are very, very important relationships. So sa ngayon, yun pa lang na-confirm. November, APEC.
Opo.
Sa San Francisco ata.
Opo, and sir, kasi for my second question, about naman sa Maharlika Investment Fund ulit. Ngayon kasi nagbalik sesyon na ang Kongreso. Ano po yung mensahe nyo sa Senado? Kasi nasa kanila na ngayon yung bola patungkol dito sa MIF. At kailan nyo po ba target itong maisabatas mismo?
Ang message ko sa Senado, suriin ninyo na mabuti.
Ayun.
Para maganda yung batas natin. Suriin ninyo na mabuti. Siyempre, sa mas maganda na matapos sa lalong madaling panahon. Pero hindi naman dapat imadali dahil napaka-importante lahat ng mga bawat salita na ilalagay mo doon sa batas na yun. May kabuluhan yun. Hindi mo basta pwedeng, tama na yan, okay na. Kailangan talagang pag-aralan na mabuti. Malaki naman ang tiwala ko sa mga senador. Alam naman nila yung kanilang trabaho. Pag-aaralan talaga nila na mabuti yan. And that's the process. Tama yun. Tama yun. But in terms of when scheduled, nag-release ng statement si Senate President na baka by Holy Week matapos na. Maganda yun. That would be good. But ako sa akin, mas importante na maging tama kaysa maging mabilis. So kailangan gawin nating tama. Kahit na lahat naman masyadong matagal eh. Pero basta makuha, we have to get it right. We cannot make
Iba ang mindset talaga
getting
ni
it wrong would
President
be a very
Bongbong
bad
Marcos.
mistake.
Okay, maraming
Okay.
salamat po, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mela. And we have Rico Hizon of CNN Philippines.
Hello, Mr. President.
Hi, Rico.
Rico Hizon, CNN Philippines. Tinanong niya yata lahat ng mga tanong na gusto kong tanungin ng
Sure.
aking mga fellow anchors.
I'm sure na maiisip ka.
Mr. President, you for 25 years, Hong Kong, London, and Singapore. And having worked with 2 global news organizations, I've been exposed to the best practices of various governments in the region and around the world. Good governance, transparency, and accountability. The Filipino people really want to know, from your 8 overseas trips in the last 7 months, how much have you spent per trip? Indonesia, Singapore, when you went to Europe, to China, and here in Davos, and the number of people in your official and unofficial entourage list. Para lang klaro po sa ating mamamayang Pilipino.
Well, I don't have the figures. I'm sure their figures are somewhere. But
Pero will it eventually be revealed, Mr. President?
well,
the Filipino
I think
people.
once we've calculated everything, because this last trip, of course, was we just finished during the weekend, and we came back on Saturday. So on terms of the cost, the way I see it, you have to look at it as ROI. Do we bring something back or do we not? If you say, I don't know, as I said, I don't know the exact figures of the costs and everything. But for example, we came back from China with pledges of 22 billion. Let's say we get actual out of that 1 billion. Bawing-bawi lahat ng 8 trips. Finished. That's the idea. And we did not only go to China. We went to Davos. We went to the EU. We went to ASEAN. We went to APEC. So in each of those, many pledges were signed. And as I said, it is up to us. Now, the measure of success will be, the cost benefit, very simple. How much effort did you put into it? It's not just the money. It's the time that you put into it. It's the time and the effort that goes into it is really, that's what I was trying to explain earlier. The reason that we have everyone on the delegation. Actually, the official delegation is just myself and the cabinet ministers. Then they have staff. So the rest are security. And the others that have been accompanying me are actually private sector. They don't actually fly with me. They go there on their own. Although they are included in our meetings, and they have their own meetings on the sidelines as well. So again, the way I approach it is ROI. How much did you spend? How much did you get? And again, as I'm saying, if we get just one of the MOUs, isa lang. Napakahina naman natin if isa lang ang makuha natin. Hindi namin ginagawa trabaho namin kung yun lang ang isa lang makuha natin. But sabihin na lang natin, isa lang ang makuha natin. Bawi na lahat ng trip ko.
Pero Mr. President, sinasabi rin ng mga kritiko that no matter how the government tries to invite investors to the country, but if there's a lack of transparency, accountability, the country does not really invite confidence.
I fully agree. So we will have transparency.
Ililista ba ninyo?
So
Ililista ba ninyo yung gastos, Mr. President?
So there will be accountability and transparency in everything that we do. That's axiomatic. Who's going to argue with that? That is one of that. But it has not been an issue that the private businesses bring up. They bring up ease of doing business. They bring up the cost of energy. They bring up the problems of
Sa palpal.
legislative guarantees. Ang legislative, lalo na sa PPPs, legislative guarantees,
Bakit?
ibig sabihin na sa
Bakit sinabi kong sa palpal season? Ginagawa niyong rason na kailangan ilista ni Presidente ang gastos niya para magkaroon ng transparency, para magpunta yung mga businessmen dito sa Pilipinas. Yun ang argumento niya. Hindi naman kulang sa talino si Presidente. So, ito ang sagot niya. There will be a transparency. Silisa yan. Pero, ang sagot pa niya kay Mr. Hison, hindi yan ang tinatanong ng mga negosyante. Ang tinatanong po, totoo naman. Mag-invest ka dahil sa ililisa mo, gastos mo sa trip? Anong klaseng tanong yan? Hinuhuli lang niya sa patibong si Presidente. Matinig ang ating Presidente. Ang sinabi niya na ang tinatanong po ng mga negosyante ay ease of business. Saka, what will they expect? So, hindi yung gastos ni Presidente sa pagpunta niya ng abroad ang tinatanong ng mga negosyante. Nanghuhuli lang ho si Mr. Hizon. So, palpal ka, Mr. Hizon.
gitna ng project nila, papalitan yung batas, hindi nakikita yung project nila, pero pilit pa rin silang tapusin. Yun, yung mga nangyayari daw. Yan ang mga sabi nila, yan ang rinireklamo nila sa Pilipinas. So the critics will have their say. But those who are actually contemplating putting good money into the Philippines have other issues. That is not, accountability and transparency is not an issue.
Di ba? So, palpal, accountability is not the issue. Accountability sa trip na accountability, ang ibig sabihin ni Mr. Hizong, yun dapat ipaalam sa tao yung ginastos niya. Alam mo, Mr. Hizong, even in auditing po, unless hindi ka magfa-file ng report kaagad-agad, hanggat hindi mo what do you call this? Until you get all the receipts. So many receipts ang kailangan mong sikasuhin per trip kung inilista mo yung gastos mo. So, there will be no actual report immediately. After all the receipts which were all the receipts of the expenditures are all gathered, saka lang po magbibigay ng report. That is usually done at the end of the fiscal year. At the end of the fiscal year. And the result, it will be audited by COA, by the auditors of COA. So far, nag-audit siya. Wala namang question dun sa trouble ni Presidente Bembo Marcos na wala namang katiwaliang sinabing nag-overspend siya.
Mr. President, you talk about the ease of doing business. You talk about power rates, which is one of the highest in
Not
Asia.
anymore. Not anymore. No, Europe is the same now as us.
But what are your plans during your administration to bring this down together with the private sector? Because that is one of the issues
Yeah.
that is being raised by many investors
Oh,
around
yes.
the world.
Before, medyo number 2 na lang ngayon. Dati number 1 talaga.
Kasi
yan
hindi lang itong administrasyon na ito.
Oh,
Even the
no,
past
years,
administrations have
years,
always been
years.
promising.
Yeah.
Let's improve the ease of doing business,
So,
the bureaucracy.
The bureaucracy has to be streamlined. The ease of doing business is because we're talking about trade. So the digitalization is going to be a very important part of that. We have to digitalize customs. We have to digitalize all of these collecting agencies so that the BIR, even the central bank, the payments can be made over the internet. All of those things that we don't do now. We have to remove any discretion. It's just like kung gawin, if the thing is to lahat ng kahit wala kang kausap na tao, nagagawa mo yung kailangan mo, makuha mo yung lisensya mo, makuha mo yung permit mo, makapagbayad ka nung whatever it is, ng fee, whatever it is to get your papers, whatever it is. So we came up against a very disturbing finding here in the Philippines. The ordinary Filipinos who have connectivity talk to every aspect of their lives through the internet, to the school of the children, to their business, to their friends. And the only entity that they do not talk to over the internet is the government, because the government is not digitalized. So let's digitalize the government, and that will take us a long way to helping in the ease of doing business. Now, the problem of energy is a very major one. It's a very major one because at the bottom of it is simple. The supply of power, the demand for power far exceeds the supply that we are producing. And there's also a problem in distribution.
Kaya nga, tinapik ko ngayon yung current na sinasabi niya, he is keen on nuclear energy power so that he can bring down the cost of energy used in manufacturing goods. Ganyan po katalino ang ating presidente. Iniisip niya halos lahat.
Which is why prices are so high. That has to be fixed also. So, but in the long term, once we fix what we can at home, in the long term, and that is one of the things that we will talk about a great deal on these trips, is bringing new power plants into the Philippines.
Power plant.
And of course, we are stressing on renewables because we're trying to improve the mix of power generation between traditional and renewables. So that is, but that's a long term. Anything this government starts, we will not see the end. Ang nuclear power plant, 6 years, 7 years. Ang floating wind turbine, 6 years, 7 years, ganun din. Anything is 6 years, 7 years. But we have to start. So that's what we're planning to do. We will start.
Isang tanong na lang, baka kasi hindi na ako
Magalit na
makakatanong
sila.
Mr. President, ang ating utang, 13.6 trillion pesos, ang taas-taas. And our debt to service ratio is more than 60%. Paano natin po ipababa ito?
By growth of the economy.
That really is the guiding principle to the economic plan.
And through investments and the pledges that you will be focusing on.
Well, yes, make them real so
Yeah.
that growth continues to pull us out
Growth, yeah.
and then provide new jobs. Now we're very proud that we're at 4.2% unemployment rate, which is like, you cannot have a recession if your employment rate's that low. But despite that, we still have to make the jobs more higher quality. We have to make them better. So these green jobs, which is what we're talking about, and even the new technologies that are going to be used for our OFWs. All of these things, the upskilling, the reskilling, that's all we talk about. That's all, because those are the things that we need to do. It's not one simple thing. There is no silver bullet. We have to do very many things to make it right. Because what we are in fact doing is restructuring the entire Philippine economy to adjust to the new world global economy.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, Rico.
Thank you, Rico, for the many questions. Let's move. Okay, let's move on to Sas Rogando
Ayan.
of SMNI.
Good
Well,
afternoon, Mr. President.
afternoon.
SAS, SMNI News Channel. My first question is related
Nandyan ka, Sas. Yung mga question mo ngayon na tinatanong sa presidente, bakit hindi mo itinanong? Bakit nung nakaalis ka dyan sa interview, face-to-face, bakit hindi mo tinanong sa presidente? Binigyan ka ng tsansa. Binigyan ka ng importansya. Maswerte ka nga, binigyan ka ng importansya. Pagkatapos, pag-alis mo dyan, hindi mo na siya face-to-face na nakakausap, babanatan mo si presidente. Anong klaseng tao ka? Kaya nga, yan ang major purpose ko rito. Ipakita sa tao kung anong klaseng tao yung nagmamagaling-galingan na si Sas. Kita nyo, pagsagot nyo, hindi siya makalusot sa ating presidente. Ito ang main thrust ko ng video ito. Magagaling din ng mga questions ng mga ibang anchor. Pero pati silang supalpal kay PBBM. Pakinggan natin yung
to privatization. Earlier this month, Department of Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista revealed that you have plans to privatize the operations of...
chismosa siya. Ito, ang baba pa ng boss, very respectable yung boss niya. Pero paglabas niya dyan, several days later, binanatan na si President Bongbong Marcos.
NAIA. And as we all know, privatizing government assets has been a very contentious issue in our country. For example, the predecessor of your father, former President Quezon Aquino, has been lambasted for privatizing.
Predecessor of his father? Correction po, hindi siya predecessor of his father. He succeeded si Presidente Apo Lakay. Yung predecessor ni Apo Lakay ay si Diosdado Macapagal. Sabi nila matalino ito. Maski hanapin yung meaning ng predecessor. Iba yung predecessor kaysa sa successor. Baka ang ibig mong sabihin, the president who succeeded your father, not the predecessor. Ay, kulang pala ngayon ko lang napanood ng bumbuo yung interview because I wanted to give you an actual reaction, not a contrived reaction. Nagtatalino-talinuhan, hindi naman pala
A
matalino.
lot of government assets.
We have no plans to privatize anything.
Okay.
Sa palpal-kakadya.
There's no plan to privatize anything. We rather we do the opposite. No, when Secretary J.B. Bautista was talking about that, I think maybe he misspoke or he was misinterpreted. But you cannot privatize an airport to begin with. They cannot own the airport. No, a private firm cannot own the airport. At best, kasi nagkakagulo, nagkakaproblema tayo dito sa airport. At again, in New York, meron kaming nakilala, the group that runs Gatwick Airport, they run London Airport, they run several big airports. that we're asking them, what can they do? Can they come in and help us so that we can increase the traffic through the Manila airport? And they said they could. And so they're coming, they were here last week and to look at the operations of the airport, and especially since we had that problem in New Year's Day and this recent outage with the UPS. So at most, we will have a management contract.
Oh, yan.
Come in and manage the airport.
Yan ang problema sa mga taong he or she is only a blogger na hindi nagre-research. You're shooting from the hip. So pagkakadya kay Presidente Bongbong Marcos.
And they say that without changing anything, without changing, without new equipment, without building a new runway, that they can increase the traffic from what is presently, they refer to as 35 movements per hour to up to 45 movements per hour without changing anything. So we want that. And those
Kita mo ang kaibahan ni Presidente Bongbong Marcos kay SAS. Si Presidente Marcos, si Presidente BBM, I can cite figures. Kaya mahirap batikutin right at that moment kasi hindi prepared si SAS Rogando. Hindi niya pwedeng kontrahin yung sinasabi ng presidente kasi alam ng presidente ang statistics. Makakapag-cite siya ng figures. Yung sa kanya, si SAS Rogando ay puro haka-haka. Ay, Diyos ko, SAS. Ay. Ngayon ko lang po, honest, ngayon ko lang po na panood to ng bumbu dahil sa kaninang umaga na live stream natin, nabanggit si SAS. Natatawa kay SAS
those
na yun.
skills can only be had from this group. And well, no, there are several groups, but they can be had from the private sector group who have huge experience in running ports and running airports.
Mr. President, my second question is about foreign policy. You have been very clear and emphatic since the start of your administration that you're going to continue the foreign policy doctrine of your predecessor, the friend to all, enemy to none foreign policy doctrine of non-alignment. My question is related to how further you're going to possibly refine or operationalize this doctrine. Does your administration see any opportunity in, for example, deepening engagement with the non-aligned movement, especially now that superpower rivalry, especially in our zone, is might be intensifying sometime in the future?
Well, that was very much in response to the Cold War and the slow dismantling of the.
Ang dami niyang sinabi, wala akong naintindihan. She used so many, she tried to inject so many words, pero walang sense. May naintindihan ka ba, President Cactea, yung mga gano'n? I am a political analyst. Paikot-ikot yung nananalan. Tanungin mo na diretsa. Ano yung plano mo sa EDCA? Bakit mo plano yun, EDCA? Pagkatapos ng interview nito, ninanatan niya si Presidente Bongbong Marcos tungkol sa EDCA. Kung yan ang main concern po niya, dapat tinanong niya sa Presidente. Mayroon na siyang opportunity to clarify things. Rather than use highfalutin words that most of us do not understand. Walang sense. Nas ko. nagpapakitang gilas lang, pero wala sense po yung sinasabi niya. May sense siguro, pero it does not really. Yung ordinaryong tao, example ako, wala ko naintindihan. May naintindihan ka ba kayo sa kanyang mga pinagtatanong? Pero mabait ang ating presidente. Pinagbibigyan niya.
The organs of the Cold War, if that's what you want, that's how you want to put it. And that is why that non-aligned treaty was created between several nations who said that we no longer subscribe to the notion that we as a country must choose one to side with one superpower or another. And that is precisely what we have undertaken. And that is exactly the position that I have taken in terms of foreign policy. Although this came up again in our discussions in the conference, is the question that was asked was very, very actually thought-provoking. Will geopolitics finally kill globalization? Because geopolitics is pulling people apart and all these aggruppations are being pulled apart. And the general conclusion is that the countries realize that alliances are important, are in fact, they're more than important, they're necessary. Nonetheless, these alliances do not mean that we are, again, within the sphere of influence of any great power. As a matter of fact, in ASEAN, we all came to the agreement that at the very least, in ASEAN, in the Asia-Pacific region, the future of the region must be decided by those in the region, not by some outside power. And so I think the idea, I do not know of I do not know of any formal meetings or conferences of the non-aligned nations. They used to have them. They don't have them very much anymore. I don't know about that, but we are very much in the spirit of that treaty. We are very much part of it in the sense that we continue to walk that very fine line between two great superpowers who are surrounding us, both physically and geopolitically.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Sas Reganda Sansot of SMNI. And last but not least, we have
Si Mr. Chance. Alliances, sabi na, narinig yun ni Presidente. Alliances are important, but we should not fall under the sphere of anybody. But we can do alliances. And specify niya who decides for the region, yung mga bansa within the region. Tama siya doon. Pero it's not also forbidden to make alliances as long as you do not fall under the sphere. Yung influensya, too much influence from yung kalyado mo. Because you need also alliances. Friends to all nga, enemy to none. Pero ang punto ko rito, mga kaibigan, kung ang pinuputok po ng butsi niya ay yung yaga, bakit hindi po yun ang tinanong ni Sas? Kung yun ang parati ng pinupuntirya, bakit hindi niya tinanong? Kausatan niya, personal, si Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Kita niyo kung gaano hipokrita o hipokrito yung taong to. Nagmamagaling-magaling. Pero wala naman palang binatbat. Sorry for the word, binatbat. Kasi nagagalit na ako eh. Usually Hindi na ako nagagalit. Nagagalit ako na kaharap na niya ang presidente, kung mayroon siyang concern, dapat pinalabas niya yung concern na yun. Yung sa other gadget ko na computer, hindi gumagalaw ang comment. So, babalik ako muna. Baka matambakan po ako. Ang dami na pala dito sa aking computer. Natigil ka doon sa kay karinderya ni Mang Ruth. So, ang sabi niya, ang last one is, shout out po, Red One. Hindi ko nababasa. So sorry po. I'm using already the one. Ang dami na palang kan. I'm sorry. Basahin muna natin. Yun lang gusto kong makita nyo, yung kay Sasot. Ang dami. Naku, natambakan ako dahil sa computer na palpak. Nakita nyo? Hindi gumalaw. Kasi ang image dito sa computer ko, yung magandang handle ni President Puntelo. Maganda. Ngayon ko lang nakita bang bubo. Ang ganda-ganda mo pala, President Caclea. Charming na charming. Yan ang kwan. Yan ang nakikita ko, di ba? For the first time, kung talagang nakita yung features mo, maganda ka pala. Hindi ito pambubola. Honest to goodness. Charming. Saka mukhang mabait. Ang dami na, naku. Babasahin ko lahat. Naku, palpak ang computer ko. Kaya pala, inantay kong sabi ni Karinde, salamat sa mga dumikit po. Kaya, sabi ko, kung dadalas-dalasan nyo ang pagpunta rito, ay madidikitan kayo. Unti-unti, paunti-unti. Cutie Connie, may dumikit na sa'yo. Si Maria Cristina, Carinderia, hello. Mga reporters, please, ilang beses ba na sinabi ni PBBM yung growth rate natin? Nga, parang tangenga, parang kulang sa talino. Parang gusto nyong tanong ng baka, sakali magbago. Hindi ba? Alam ni Presidente Marcos, ang sinasabi niya. Mabuti na naipakita ko sa inyo. Okay. You failed promise ng previous administration. Bakit? Why? Okay. Morning, Tatay Jackferdz and everyone. Si Bog Street, supportan din po natin. Nandyan ang bahay niya. Si Carinderia ni Mangurot, Ma'am Cutie Cory Vlogs, hindi ko makita ang channel mo. You just type the name and then search sa YouTube. I-type niyo yung name niya. No. Or go to yung tatlong dots, mayroong go to channel. Yun ang ginawa ko. Hi, Bogs 3. Sabi ni President Caclea. Box 3, thumbs up done na po. Nag-like na. Si Box, nag-thank you po kay President. Dan dikit po, Ma'am Maria Chris, coming from at Box 3. Kita nyo? Salamat po sa nagdidikita. Sundan lang nyo po ang aking request. Box 3, TY, karinderya ni Mangurel, balikan kita. Yan. Balikan mo, tuparin mo ang iyong pangako. Box 3. Rebecca Lagmay gives a thumbs up. Thumbs up ba yan? And check. Sabi ni Rebecca Lagmay, good evening. Shout out to all. Pasensya na, di pa kumagalaw ang aking comment section sa kabilang gadget. Good evening. Okay. Sabi ni Karinderya, ni Mangurut, shout out Mang Rebecca Lagbay. Sabi naman ni Caclea Fantello, ang aming presidente, ay full connect na din Box 3 with Bakas. With Bakas, ha? Marunong ka na rin ang term, ha? Okay. This is the ample time for me to promote yung October 7 meetup namin ni Caclea. Those who want like to join, October 7 po, sa Long Beach, California. We might decide another venue, depende kay President. Wala po kami tina-charge. Kanya-kanyang bayad. Kung may venue, kanya-kanyang contribution dun sa bayad sa venue. Kung mabayaran natin, pero kung kukunti tayo, maski 10, hindi tayo magbabayad ng venue. Yung magbabayad, yun siguro, hati-hati po sa actual expense sa pagkain. Kaya wala po kaming sinisingil. Hindi kami kagawa ng pera dito. We don't need such kind of promotion to line ourselves, line our pockets with contributions for those who are attending to attend the meet and greet ng mga PBBM supporters. Yan promote ko na. President Caclea. Caclea Fontello, mega love shout to, Rebecca Lagman, dinikitan na kita. Yan. Dikitan na. Dikitan na po kayo. Nandito na naman po ang ating kapatid from the Iglesia ni Cristo. Magalang po siya. Itit liker po, no skipping of ads, Tatay Jackferdz. Happy viewing po sa lahat na nandito sa live streaming. Done liking and posting po. We support Tatay Jackferdz. Go! Hindi ko na ini-aim yan. Maski hindi na madagdagan ng subscribers ko, kung may matututunan ang mga viewers ko, na pwede nilang ipagkalat yung sagupaan ng mga opinion dito, pwede nilang gamitin yun para pambara sa kabilang kampo. Maligaya na po ako. Kita nyo ang channel ko despite the fact na 5,300 na ang aking watch hours. Qualified na sa, hindi ko minamadali ang pag-monetization ng aking channel. In fact, si Ma'am Lintik, who is very good, has offered so many times na tulungan ako. I don't want to bother her. Hello, Ronald, sabi ni President Caclea. Si Maria Cristina, ginigit si Bok, saka si Rebecca, mega love shout out. Yan ang gusto ko rito, nagmamahalan. Then, mega love shout out, Ronald, mega love shout out, sabi ni Maria Chris. Si Redwan, ang masugid kong follower, always one of the first, if not the first who attend this live session, nandun siya parati. Redwan. Hello, Ronald Federico. Who's Ronald Federico? Ay, si kapatid. Si Ryan Blackwell, sabi niya, hello, Box 3, Rebecca, Ronald, mega love shoutout po. Si Vincel Pisces, supportan din natin siya. Okay. Now here comes the comment na. Si President, magrarally si Marlica at saka bago lipunan din. Talagang nililigawan niya ang mga investors. Tama. He will not stop until he will not get the results he wanted for the country. And it is a whole process. Tama. Notice lang ang instant. What a witty person. You pour hot water, that's it. Oh, ang gandang analysis mo. Pero nakikita kasi natin, pwede tayong mag-analyze ng ganyan kasi nakikita natin ang explanation ng ating magaling na presidente. Mahirap kontrahin po yung pag-explain niya. Pati yung mga reporters mga reporters na counter sa kanya, tameme sila sa kanya. Si Hiso lang ang medyo mapilit. Pero pinalabas tuloy ni Presidente Marcos na walang alam po si Mr. Hiso. Tiro mo, sabi niya, let's analyze yung sinabi ni Mr. Hiso. Kailangan daw yung mga investors ay malaman ang travel expenses ni Presidente Marcos. Ang sabi naman ni Presidente Bongbong Marcos, ay, hindi yan po ang tinatanong. Totoo naman. Tatanungin mo ba sa Presidente kung magkano ang ginustos mo para mag-invest? Kulang ka na lang sa katalinuhan, Mr. Hizon, para magtanong ng kasing tanong na gano'n. Pero ang pinakapangit talaga si Sastrugando. Walang katuturan ang pag-imbita sa kanya doon. Privatization. Sinagutan ni Presidente Marcos. Tapos yung second na tanong, ang dami-dami niyang sinabi na wala naman ako naintindihan. Honestly speaking. Sabi ko, tapos bilib na yung mga tao sa kanya. Agree ko ako dyan. Maria Cristina, M. Chris. This is good time. This is good from time to time. PBBM holds a press conference with these media entities. Okay, it's good. And then, when he goes out, he allows himself to be interviewed. Hindi siya natatakot. That's why napansin nyo, na he never appointed a spokesperson para siya manggagaling sa kanya mismo ang pagbibigay, pag-uulat na tunay na nangyayari sa bansa. Wala nga siyang spokesperson. Yung press secretary, ang secretary lang, takasulat lang. He doesn't even voice out yung mga views ni Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Unlike nung panahon ni Trixie Angeles, na ang pinapalabas ay yung opinion ni Vic Rodriguez. Kita nyo? Nakikita nyo na ba si Secretary Garafil na inuunahan po si Presidente Bongbong Marcos? Siguro, natuto na si Chelly Garafil na hindi gawin yung dating ginagawa ni Trixie Angeles. I am careful ha. Texibilia. I'm careful na. Oh. Hindi na ako padalos-dalos kasi ilang beses na ako nagkamali. Si Little One. Oh, welcome back, Little One. Hello, tama. Hello po, tama po kayo. Kakaiba po si PBBM. Humble, patient, multitasking president. No wonder many foreign investors ang pumunta sa ating bansa. Sadly, some fail to notice this, but negativity. Ang galing! Palakpakan kay Little One. Bakit hindi mo dalsan dito para magbigay ka ng opinion? Kasi ang galing-galing mo rin. Sino si Little One? Do I know you? I am impressed. Oh, dumadami. Si karinderya ni Mang Urod. First time niya nagbigay ng opinion. Ang galing din. Sabi ni Chris, thanks po, Ma'am Carclea. High praise coming from our beloved President. Hi, Little One. Sabi ni Carclea. Si Chris, pinati rin si Little One. Bukas po ako, madidikitan, may mga ayuda lang po sa main channel ko, TY. Ay, may mga ayuda? Nagbibigay ka ng ayuda? May nag-uya. Bukas ako madidikitan. May nag-ayuda lang po sa main channel ko, TY. Oh. Bukas na lang daw po nyo siya digitan. Kasi mayroon na daw nag-aayuda muna ngayon, bukas. Okay. Bakit kailangan nilang i-audit na ngayon ang mga nakasunyan sa mga tip? It's too easy early. Mga ikaw naman, masyado naman masakit mong yung words, Trixie. Okay. Mga tungaw, nakakainis. Sabi niya, nga, at the end of the year, they will gather all the information. That is the normal way of doing business. Hindi yun, pero mayroon yung surprise audit. Hindi naman kailangan surprisahin ng audit si Presidente. You must give due respect. Yung surprise audit ay ginagawa lang kung sinususpect mo na may katiwaliang nangyayari. Si Presidente, hindi na po gagawin yun. Hindi nga siya kumukolekta ng sweldo niya as Department of Agriculture, pati si Sara Duterte. They collect their salaries as President, Vice President. Meaning, hindi sila gahaman sa pera. They could have collected their salary as Department of Agriculture Secretary and Department of Education Secretary. Pero mayroon silang delikadesa na kulang sa ibang mga empleyado ng gobyerno. Tularan din dapat nila si Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Diba? Maganda ang talakayin natin. Ang sinasabi ko dito sa channel ko, pag nagtatalakay tayo dito, mayroong proof ng tatalakayin natin. Hindi yung basta mag-iimbento lang ng issue. O, yung nabababalita lang na hindi binabakapan ng actual proof or research. Dito po parating may research. Hindi po kayo maliligaw. Natawa ko sa yung comment, Texibilia. Salud, Tatay. Kumusta po? Hello, Joe Pau Gasol. Supportahin po natin siya. Ang dami Ang daming na-miss dito. Hindi pa rin gumagalaw yung isang gadget ko. Ito. Anong karapatan nilang i-audit as early today? Mga expenses sa mga biyahe, ganyan din ang dialogue ni Claire. Eh, wala siyang alam sa audit. Kaberya ulit. Wala siyang alam sa audit. Hindi siya dapat magsasalita. Yung mga accountants, katulad ko, ang may alam sa audit. Kasi sinasabi ko sa inyo, kinukolekta lahat ng resibo muna before and then you make a report. You make a report. And then, from the report, titignan mo isa-isa, yung hindi nga kailangan busisihin lahat ng resibo. Mayroon tinatawag sa auditing na test control. Kung tinesting mo ang ibang mga gastos, hindi mo na kailangan isa-isahin mo lahat ng resibo. You just select a lot. Yung a lot, yung sabihin, isang batch ng resibo. Several batches of resibo, pag na-test mong okay na yung the way they did it, ay there is safety na you're safe ka na mag-assume na almost all the transactions are also safe. Kasi it's time consuming if you scan or look at every receipt. Ay, ang dami-dami niyan. Limitado ang audit personnel. So, ang ginagawa po niyan, nagte-testing lang po. Mag-aral kayo ng accounting para malaman nyo. Claire Contreras. Year-end po ang pag-submit ng report. Para makapag-submit ka ng report, dapat kolektamin mo lahat ng inyong resibo. And then from there, babasihin mo ang report. Kaya nga, hindi pwedeng magbigay ng figure si Presidente Marcos kasi hindi pa nakalap yung lahat ng resibo. Natanong ba nila kung ano ang ROI? Sabihan niya? Ang ROI po ay return on investment. Cost-benefit analysis po. May cost nga sila. Ano naman ang napala nila? Kung walang napala, palpak yung trip ni PBBM. Kung mayroon naman nakuha. Sabi nga niya, sa 22 pledges, isa lang ang matupad. Bawing-bawi na po yung trip. Pagkatapos, pagdidiskata kita nila yung budget niya sa travel expenses. Nahirap din magbiyahe. Kami kung nagbabiyahe, lalo na ako. Pagdating ko sa Pilipinas, pag nagbabiyahe ko, alos, masama ang katawan ko dahil sa jet lag. Every year po yan. For the last 12 years. Every year na yata kami umuwi. Kaya, kala nyo, enjoy po ang pagtatravel pag nasa aeroplano ka. Hindi ka makatulog. Maraming, kung nasa aeroplano ka, hindi ka komportable. Mas makomportable nasa lupa ka, sa bahay mo. Sakripisyo nga yan, pagtatravel ng presidente. At sa paglapag niya sa destination niya, trabaho kagad ang inaatupag. Hindi po siya nagre-resort. Inaatupag po ang trabaho. Kaya may kulang sa katalinuhan si Claire Contreras. Mas lalong kulang sa katalinuhan yung mga viewers niya. Hindi ginagamit ang kanilang utak. Yes, Marie Chris. Kaya nga, ang mga hakbang ni PBBM ay pinag-aaralan niya muna bago siya mag-desisyon. Yan, nakikita nun na siya. Pinag-aaralan niya bago siya mag-desisyon. Tama ka. Good analysis ulit, Texibilia. Hindi siya ordinaryong namamahala sa gobyerno. Nakita niya siguro sa kanyang tatay. And he also consults the different agencies before deciding. Correct. Pati niya, sa flood, sa disaster lang nga eh. Nakikita mo. Nakikipagkonsulta siya sa mga local officials. Kaya lang nasingitan ni Congresswoman Bundok yung impertinenteng congresswoman. Di masama yung word na impertinente. Kasi di niya iginalang ang ating presidente. Threatening to walk up, threatening na siya security problem pag hindi siya pinagbigyan. What kind of... naku. Sabi nga ni President Cartlea, he has a choice words for that kind of person. Agree ako, Cartlea. Right, ma'am. Texibilia, sabi ni Maria Chris. I'm so glad that you voice out your opinion. Ang problema ni Hison from the previous administration, bakit lahat ngayon gusto niyang panagutin si PBBM? Correct. Kung mayroong mga kapalpakan, lahat ng administrasyon, may kapalpakan yan. Panskin nung panahon ni Apo Lakay. Pero dahil sa dami ng problema, hindi lahat maasikaso ng presidente. Mayroon at mayroong papalpak. No administration is perfect, even in the United States. That's why we have the COA. We have the Ombudsman. We have the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. We have the congressional oversight ng lower house. Ang palaya talaga naman. Mr. Hison, di kaya think first before you open your mouth. Ako, grabe ka, Trek ni Mila. Pero I cannot dispute your opinion because I share your opinion, but I don't use such kind of words. I can't just really imagine kung si Mana, yan. Si Lenlen ang manalo. Baka mas nalutang. Okay. Hindi makapag-cite ng figure si Ma'am Lenlen. Yung nag-cite ng figures mali-mali ang 40 times 40 times 4 equals 1,600, 1,600, something like that. Akala nila mahuhuli si PBBM who already knows what these people are thinking before they even open their mouths. Salute kay PBBM. Correct! Again. Nag-enjoy tayo sa mga komentaryo ngayon. Kaysa yung sirang, bardagulan, natututo tayo. We are having fun. Berating these supposedly anchors without... Damn! Sabi niya. Anong ginagawa ni Sasyan? Si Sas represents na ang SMNI. Ibig sabihin, Siya ang pinakamagaling sa SMNI. That tells you a lot of things about SMNI. If the best they can send is SMNI, what kind of standard does SMNI has for its news organization? Kung ipapadala mo dyan, supposedly yung the best. Kaya nga pinadala mo yan para matanong si Presidente ng mahusay. Supposedly, they are the best interviewers. Nakita natin, Chief Tas, wala namang binatbat. Mas maganda pa yung Tagalog na nagtanong, ano yung, hindi ko na alam pangalan niya, yung ng Tagalog, yung mas maganda pa yung tanong niya. Naiintindihan. Yun ang nagustuhan kong tanong. Diretsa. Magalang, pero pinapalam niya sa presidente kung ano ang nararamdaman ng tao in Tagalog. Yun, naipapuli ako. Isa lang ang pinuli ko doon, yung nagsalita ng Tagalog. Yung iba, nagpapa-impress, pero walang binatbat kay Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Salamat, Mr. Rico Hison, sa mga walang kwenta niyo. Malupit ka talaga, Sexy Mia. Hindi ko alam anong kang kalupitan din. At least napapalabas ang mga katalinahan ng aming mahal na Pangulo. Maganda ang punto ng ating kapatid na si Sexy Mia. Yun. Nangibabaw po si Presidente Marcos sa lahat. Pag samasamahin mo pa ang utak nila, hindi sila manalo kay Presidente Bongbong Marcos. They want result before the job starts. Nga. Right. Sabi nga niya, ni President Carclea Pontelo, I'm sorry to always to refer to you kasi maganda yung unang punto mo. You want instant gratification. Hindi po miracle workers po si President Bongbong Marcos. Ay, madilim na po. I need to put on the light. Nag-enjoy kasi ako kaya hindi ko na napansin na madilim na po. Yan. Better lighting. Malupit ka. It's the first time that I saw yung siya. Tuto yun. Paninira lang ang alam ni Sas sa mga post niya. Ang complaint ko kay Sas, tatabagin ko na siyang she. She had the opportunity to ask difficult questions na pwedeng huliin. Pwedeng huliin po ang ating presidente to put the feet of our president under fire. Pero hindi rin lang ginawa. Bakit? Mapapaya na natatakot ba siya mapaya sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin, na-expose siya na hindi talaga matalino? Napansin ko na kagad na hindi siya matalino. Yung word lang niya, predecessor. Ang predecessor mo, mas nauna sa'yo. Ang ibig niya sabihin, yung successor. Matalino mo yun? Simple-simple mo, hindi niya mabigyan ng totoong meaning. Si Cory daw ay predecessor niya ni Apo Lakay. Ay, nako. Exactly, Ma'am Ryan Blackwell. That's what I'm saying. enjoy ka text siya. Kuna, Yahoo, sabi ni Rosalie Green Blogs. Okay. Loyalista rin ito, pero mahusay siyang kumanta. Subscribe po si Rosalie. Okay. They're trying to outsmart the master and they become still, what's the term? Silly. They cannot outsmart ang ating presidente. Ito, ang mga investors after the security of their investment. Yeah, correct. The first statement is already great. Kung ikaw ang mag-invest, di ba dapat may security? Hindi mo ba ipagtatapon lang yung pera mo? Dapat safe po yung pera mo. Not the accountability of the government. Hindi importante sa'yo ang gas ng gobyerno sa pagtatravel. Because that has nothing to do with your investment. Expenditure ng gobyerno yan. Hindi po maapektuhan yung investment mo. Kaya nga, kulang sa talino yung tanong ni Mr. Hizon po. They have no interest in how the government runs the country as long as their business is running smoothly. Okay. Rosalie he's just listening. Okay. What credential does SAS have to question PBBM like this? Akala nila, security expert daw siya. Yun ang pinapalabas niya. Wala naman pala siyang alam eh. Tama ka dyan, karinderya umangulot. To think that she's the best at the SMNI channel sent to this interview, yan ang pinakamagaling na. Correct. Tatay Jackferdz, PBBM was elected after several presidents. I don't think we will much investor if PBBM is not the president of the Philippines. Correct. Ang sabi ni Sasso, predecessor of your father, sabi niya. Yung father niya tinutukoy ni Cory. Kasi si PBBM hindi din pwedeng predecessor kasi ang predecessor ni Apo Lakay is si Cory. Si Cory ay successor. So ang may predecessor kay Cory ay si Fidel Ramos. Kasi si Fidel Ramos ay nag-succeed kay Cory. Ang predecessor ni kung sino ang napalitan, siya ang nagiging predecessor po. Kaya si Joseph Estrada po, ang predecessor niya, si Fidel Ramos. Ang predecessor ni Gloria Arroyo, si Joseph Estrada. Yan ang ibig sabihin. Karinderya ni Mangurot. Sa dami ng pwede mo tanong, yung sa EPOP, paano iisip ni Tasa? Natawa din ako eh. Sa dami ng complaint niya kay Bongbong Marcos sa tungkol sa EDCA, nabudol daw siya. Bakit hindi niya i-bring up yun? Bakit hindi niya i-bring up? Kaya nga, yung nagpapapaniwala kay SAS, parang yung mga viewers din ni Madam Maharlika. Hindi ko kine-question yun. Pero kung sasabihin yung matalino po, hindi po ko naniniwala. Kulang sa katalinuhan. O sabihin lang, kulang sa analysis. Pag nag-analyze sila, ay taliwas sa katotohanan yung kanilang analysis. Mababaw sa masyado yung analysis nila. Sorry po, hindi ko nabasa kaagad. Natambakan ako. Ano bang klaseng computer to? Gaming computer kasi. Ginagamit na, inggit nila kay PBBM para mapabagsak siya. But they're mistaken. PBBM will not back down from this distractor. Tama. Correct analysis po. Ang gagaling nyo talaga rito mag-analyze. Sabi ni Karinderya ni Mangur, honestly, SMA made the mockery of themselves by hiring SAS. Oh, they were impressed kasi doon sa yung ang tawag doon, yung debate sa SMNI. Hindi naman talaga debate yun. They just let the candidates express themselves. Tinanong siya. Hindi debate yun actually. Pasensya na kayo, matindi ang allergies ko. Sa akin palagay, tatay, kaya di niya tinanong noon si PBM, alam niya, napapapaya siya. Kasi alam niyo, matalino si PBM, hindi niya kayang paikutin ng Pangulo. Yeah, that might be the case. Takot siya, mapahiya. Magaling nyo talaga mag-analyze. Isang angulo yan na dapat natin pag-isipan. Sobrang believe talaga ako kay PBM for his intelligence and wisdom. Be alert to answer questions thrown by both pro and against the government of the present government. Nakita niyo ba yung recent video ko this morning na nag-explain siya. Walang notes. Lahat yung ang reaction ng mga nanonood sa kanya ay boom or pay attention talaga sila. Tingnan nyo, pag-ikot ng camera, nakikita mo, believe na believe yung mga audience sa kanya. Kasi from the top of his head, ay nakikita ng mga tao na totoo naman sinasabi niya. Well, organized pa ang pagtalakay niya ng issue. Hindi kalat-kalat. Ibang klase talaga ang ating presidente. Mabuti, mayroong channel na nagbibigay sa inyo ng tunay na pagkatao ni Presidente Marcos. Sabi ni Ryan, matalino daw si Sas. Hindi ako niniwala. Bakit dito nagmukha siyang katawa-tawa. Pinagbili na niyang prinsipyo na sa China, same on Sas. Yung tinutukoy mo. She was given a scholarship in China na mayroong 30,000 pesos a month na allowance. 30,000 pesos is only about less than $600. Pinagbili niya ang kaluluwa niya for $600. Parang 30 pieces of silver. Money talks, siguro. Winsel Pisces is loving it. Pilinggerong matalino yan si Alan Troy. Na yan, Alan Troy ba ang pangalan niya? You know. Si Alan Troy, si salot ng lipunan. Okay. Haba ng habulin ko. Babasahin ko lahat yan. Classmate Tatay Jackferdz vlogs, mas matalino pa nga bangus mo dito kaysa dyan kay Alan Troy. Okay, approve ako dyan sa iyong statement, karinderya ni Mang Urod. Bakit tatalino rito eh? Maski minsan nagsatagubaan kami ng opinion, matalino ang pagbibigay ng opinion. Hindi lahat tayo tama. Nagkamali nga ako eh. Inaamin ko kagad pag nagkakamali ako. Because karinderya ni Mang Urod, because the time of PFEM, talagang pinagbubukod niya ang mga bansa sa Southeast Asia. Yan ang point out ni PBBM na bakit ngayon nawawala na ganung klaseng meeting. Okay. Si Apo Lakay was a giant among the leaders of the Southeast Asian countries during that time. He was really a giant. Unfortunately, nagkasakit siya. Baka na-starstruck si Alan Troy kay PBBM, kaya nalunod na nila at jutak niya. Ay, malupit si ang aking kapatid na si Texie Villan ngayon. This is lumabas yung pangil mo, Texie Villan, sa episode na ito. Kaya pala, atat kang, is that the proper word? You were in a hurry for the LS this afternoon. Ang comment mo kaninang umaga. Kaya gusto mong banatan si Alan Troy. Pag tinanong si BBM face to face, mapapaya siya. Masusupal pa lang siya. Baka umiyak mo siya pagkagawin. Ay, nako, Alan Troy. You bared yourself as a person who does not know what he or she is talking about. Maganda pa nga yung comment ni karinderya ni Mang Urod na mas matatalino pa rito. May mga bangus din, mga bangus ka nandito, katulad mo, karinderya, bangus ka rin. Sabihin mo, matinig ka rin. Saan kayo nakakita ng channel na ganito ang quality of the discussion? Nakakita na ba kayo? Yung mga bisita rito, kung bumibisita kayo sa ibang channels, nakakita na ba kayo ng ganitong marespeto Magalang minsan, malupit pero magaling pa rin ang kalupitan nila. Is there such a thing as magaling pa rin ang kalupitan? Example ko si Ma'am Trixie Villa. Kanya, nagising kami kay Tatay Jack dahil sa alantry na yan. Oo. Kasi yun ang inaantay ko. Kasi pinakita ko lang sa inyo yung the way the anchors who are against, basically are against or anti-PBM could not overwhelm PBBM. He was ready for any question that they could throw at him. Oh. Sob to Rebecca Lagmay, sabi ni Nilda. Thank you, Nilda Arcio. Natawa si Redman. Dapat pagtawanan talaga si Alan Troy. Hello, Tatay Jackferdz. Nakalike na po agad. Thank you, Judy Basco. Mag-sub na kayo kay Judy Basco. Lahat kayo na hindi pa nakakapag-sub. Nasaan si GNL Opinions? Tinatamad ba? Napansin niyo ba si GNL Opinions? Sana nandito siya para mag-komentaryo sa magandang talakayan ngayon. Judy Basco. Hello, Redwan. Redwan. Hi, Judy. Hello. Karinderya ni Mang Ruth. Shout out po, Ma'am Judy Basco. Kita mo, Ma'am Judy Basco. Maraming nagmamahal sa iyo rito. Hello, Nilda Arcio, sabi niya. Si Nilda, sob na po kay Judy Basco. Palakpakan. Hello, karinderya ni Mang Ruth. Huwag niyong kakalimutan ng channel ni Mang Ruth para dalas-dalasan niya. Mahusay magbigay ng komentaryo si Mang Ruth. Kung di niyo siya susubscribe, baka hindi na siya bumalik sa channel natin ito. Kasi alam ko, busy din siya. Little one. Sorry po, madalas po replay silent view lang po. Dalasan mo naman ang pumunta rito. Kasi magaling kang mag-analyze. Nakaka-contribute ka ng success ng Tatay Jackferdz Family Vlogs. Hello, Judy Basco. Hello, little one. That is the typical Pinoy nowadays. Kaya mahirap magnegosyo ang karamihan. Binibilang agad ang gastos. Ang gusto madaling kitaan, okay, that's correct. Ang mga Chinese nga, they are patient sa negosyo. They are patient. Kaya sila yumaman. Hindi bigla rin ang gusto ng tubo. That's one thing we have to admire sa Chinese people. They know how to run a business. Yan papuri sa Chinese. Sino ang magdi-disagree sa akin dyan? Ang karamihan ng malalaking businessman, Henry C., John Gokong Wei, Lu Suchan, Ramon Ang, puro Chinese. Nandyan din si ang mga kuha ko, Chinese. Ryan Blackwell, little one, mega love shout out po. Ang dami palang komentary na miss ko. We are going to take over this all these media people. INC is going to lead Jackferdz Network Incorporated is going to lead. No, don't. That's not going to happen. We are going to take over. Ito nga, hindi natin mapalaki ang network ko eh. Yung mga pero you just want to make me laugh. Okay. Si Ryan Judy Basco, si Ryan Blackwell, she loves you very much. Si Carclay Fontello, ginigit ka, sis Judy Basco. Si Judy Basco, ginigit po si President Carcleta Fontello. Ay! We are honored to have my idol, Tatay Jackferdz. Good morning po. Good day po sa lahat. My idol is umakyat ay binisita po ang channel po natin. Okay. Maganda yung isang hindi ko sinasabi sa YouTube Banat Boy yun sa isang channel. Balikan mo yung lahat ng aking sa isang episode. Pinuri kita dahil sa content mo na well-researched po. Yan lang, ikaw lang ang pinuri ko na vlogger. Specified, Banat Boy. Nakalagay sa content ko. Pero hindi ko pinagpamalaki sa channel mo yan para magbuhat ng bangko ko. No. I call it as I see it. If I have find time, I go to your channel always. Saka si Trunks. Alim na alim ako kay Trunks. Kanina hindi ko siya napuntahan kasi may lakad kami na director. Hello, Banat Boy. Binigrit po si Judy Basco. Ayan. Marami kang fans dito. Si Trexie Villa. Si Carclea. Lahat dito. Fans mo eh. Si Banat Boy. Morning Trexie. Manang Trexie. Kita mo. Si Nilda Arceo. Fans mo rin yan. Hello. Ading, Banat Boy, naimbag nga daw. Okay. Si Banat Boy, ginigreet si Nilda Arceo. Magandang gabi, Tatay Jackferdz. Si Lily Ragasa, fans mo rin, Banat Boy. Oh. Judy Basco, aloha, atik ko, Lily Ragasa. Si Nilda Arceo, nag-sub na po ako to Lily Ragasa. Si Carclea Fontela, hi sis Lily. I'm late. Ulit, classmate. Sis Carclea, sis Trexie, sis Ryan. Si Banat Boy, si Idol. Tita Lila Ragasa. Naimbag, bigat mo ading. Banat Boy, sabi ni Lily Ragasa, mga fans mo yan. Mahalo, Cisco, Judy Basco. Aloha, ma'am. Lily Ragasa, Judy Basco, hello, blessed Sunday, sabi ni Trixie. Ryan Blackwell, greet po si Lily Ragasa. Lily Ragasa, Ma'am Nilda Arceo. Alam mo ba, Banat Boy, minsan binisita ako dito ni Sir Al Libuga the other day. Karinderya ni Manguret, aloha, Ma'am Lily Ragasa. Aloha, karinderya namang, yun, madumikita ulit tayo. Karinderya ni Manguret, thank you. Lily Ragasa Carindera. So, karinderya ni Mang Ruth. Salamat po, Ma'am Lily Ragasa. Salamat, Ma'am Lily Ragasa, sabi ni karinderya ni Mang Ruth. Absent si DNL, baka na-traffic po siya. Baka nagtrabaho. Ma'am Trixie Villa, you made my day. Your comments are hot. And as my coffee. Oh, malupit ngayon si Trixie. Ngayon ko lang siya nakita malupit. Kaya nga, kaya I am frustrated, disappointed in the rise of SAS. Hari Roque Media, Maharlika, another bloggers na hindi nila nakikita ang ginagawa ni PBBM na ayusin ang problema natin. Kaya nga, purely PBBM na itong channel natin. Seldom po mag-content. Nakabot ako. Wala nang... hindi ko na ipapanood yung last interviewer kasi ang gusto ko lang nang pakita yung si SAS. So, thank you, Idol Banat Boy, at nakahabol ka. Iko-content ko na sana yung the President is keen on nuclear power. Dadaanan ko lang ng konti. Pinaplano na ni Presidente Marcos na kumuha ng nuclear power plants para gamitin. Kasi ang yung technology na ng nuclear power plants are safer than before. Maliit pero safer. Hindi siya mag-benefit po sa nuclear power plant. It takes 6 years before they become affected. So, ang makikinabang po sa nuclear power plant na uumpisahan niya sa kanyang termino. Pagkatapos ng termino, hindi nga siya makikinabang. Napanood niyo ba yung interview? It takes 6 years. So, hindi na siya makikinabang. Ang susunod na administrasyon ay magiging maswerte sa mga ginawa ng Presidente Marcos. Bongbong Marcos. Nandyan po sa unang section ng aking live stream. So, idol ko si Trixie. si Trixie. So, maraming nag-idolize sa'yo. Ako rin, in-idolize kita ngayon. Ang lupit mo. Si Trixie Villa. Madam President Carclea Fontelo. Okay, last na po. Promote ko ulit yung meet and greet. Makikita nyo kami ni President Carclea Fontelo. Ay, kung ayaw hindi kami lang dalawa ni Carclea ang mag-meet. Okay. Again, thank you very much po kay Idol Banat Boy. Again, I inform you that si Sir Al, nagpunta rin dito. Pero, alam mo na, basta Tatay Jackferdz, si Bibin lang ang pinaka-brilliant, hardworking, handsome, humble president. I'm praying for a digital term. Hindi yung mangyayari. Let's be realistic. Hindi may amendyohan ang Constitution. That would be ideal, pero hindi mangyayari yan. Let's stick to realism. Okay. So, thank you, Lily Ragasa. Thank you, Banat Board. Thank you, Trixie Villa. Thank you, President Carclea. Thank you, Ryan Backwell. Thank you, Red One. Thank you, Maria Cristina. Thank you, Rebecca Lagmay. Thank you, Nilda Arceo. Napakarami. Thank you, Cutie Connie. From the top of my head, hindi ako kasing brilliant si Jones Vlog, humabol. Suportahan din po natin siya. Okay. Sorry, Jones Vlog. Dapat agahan mo ang ang pagdalo sa aking live stream. So, sabi ni Lily Ragasa, Tatay, maybe my wish will come true. Sana nga. I wish you can. Thank you po, Tatay Dag. Okay, Judy Basco, thank you rin sa inyo. For all those that I did not mention, rest assured that I love you also. Again, bye-bye. I love you. That's the end of my live stream. Mangganda ng live stream po na ng Marie Chris has the last word. And na po kay Marie Chris, Trex Sevilla, ay nakaabot si Jong, ay nakuha siyang isang sub galing kay Nilda Arcio. Duman lang po, Tatay. Buti na duman ka. Kita mo ang babait ng mga viewers ko rito. Thank you, Tatay. Sabi ni Lily Ragasa. Okay, bye-bye. Hindi ako kan. And na ng broadcast po.